morning everybody, a very warm welcome back to MEC-TEC, and we are back in the little C1 and we're off to Alex's again today to do the part 2 on the yellow Audi TT. Now, as you remember from the last episode on the yellow ABT Audi TT, we are going to do a Cambelt on it today and flush the fuel system through and hopefully get it running with any luck. That is the plan for today. So we are going to get down there. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. It's absolutely freezing this morning, so we're going to crack on, get down there, and I'll come back to you when we arrive. See you in a bit. Right, we are here. The ABT is in the garage, as you can see, and Alex has got it jacked up just to get started, just to get a start on it. Obviously these covers are already loose from last time, so we'll take all those off. Where should I put that? On there.
I'll just on that, anywhere be alright. Don't
want to damage anything.
No,
right, so first order of business is, this is already, he's just got this up in here and drained the coolant, which is great. Got to get this bottle off. Power steering bottle doesn't have to come off, but we just need to move it sideways. He's already took the charge cooler pipe off. There's a charge cooler pipe, isn't it? Yeah. And then we've got to get the wheel off, I think, and we've got to get the timing covers off.
Timing covers off. Engine mount off this side.
Yep.
Support the engine.
It's going to be a bit of to and fro up and down, I think, but it should be all right. So we'll get an axle stand under it, shall we?
Yeah.
So we can use your jack to support the engine.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, yeah. I've got a second jack. So
oh right, okay.
One next to your foot there. Look.
Sounds superb.
You need two. So.
Okay, we've got jacks galore. Right, we're going to do a bit of progress on this, and we'll come back to you sort of every sort of stage we're at or whatever. Come back to you in a bit. Rightio, as you would have seen from that bit of time lapse there, we have got the coolant reservoir off, we've got the evap canister off, we've left the power steering pump hanging for now, got the cam timing cover off the top, the wing half of the engine mount is now out, we've got the engine half of the engine mount loose, but we can't get that out yet because we've got to take the bottom timing cover off. Now before we do that, we've got to put the engine at top dead center and get all the timing marks in line, so that is going to be the next job. We're going to get the bottom pulley loose as far as, because it's got four, let me show you, hang on, it's got four Allen headed bolts. Grab this light, which hopefully you'll be able to see in a second. You see that it's got four Allen headed bolts on that, which we've got to get loose to get the bottom pulley off. But before, we need to crack those off just so that they're sort of nipped up, because then we can get them undone easier and it won't knock the engine out of time once we've put it all in time. We've also got to get that serpentine belt off as well. So we'll get that serpentine belt off next, and then we'll just crack those four nuts off on that pulley there and then just nip them up so that they're just tight. Then we can rotate the engine round, get it into time, mark the belt up, and then we can get the bottom timing cover off the engine to be able to oik that mount out from the top, and then obviously we can get the belt off. I'll come back to you when we've made a little bit more progress. Right, we thought we'd show you this bit in real time because it's been a bit of a pain, if we're honest, because we're having to hold the crank pulley in the middle. Alex has got a bar on it up there, and I'm trying to undo these Allen headed bolts without stripping them, obviously. So this is a bit of a team effort. Well, the whole thing's a team effort, but even more so on this.
They're quite a common prone thing of stripping, aren't they?
Yeah. So
we don't really want that. We don't want that to happen this time.
No, hopefully not. There you
Oh
go.
yes, 3 out of 4.
Yeah. So we'd already done 2, and I thought I'd just bring you in a bit of live action so you can see the other 2 hopefully come undone easily. So we're on the last.
Is that tightened up again? Yeah.
Yeah. We're on the last one now. We're cracking them like you just saw, and then we're just nipping them back up very slightly, so that obviously we don't. So the pulley wheel is still
okay,
on
yeah?
there. Yep, that's it.
Get that in position.
And we're just giving these a little tap with a hammer, just so that we know they're properly seated in the Allen head, because otherwise it will strip easier.
And the tool's a lifetime guarantee, so if they break, we get a new one anyway.
It's very true, yeah. Good old Halfords.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's tight.
Should I whack that in again, or is that alright?
Yeah, I'll give it a little tap.
Let's twist it.
Twist them, is it?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I've got the jumper caught on the jack. There we go. Left-handed. Right. Okay, let's give it another go.
You're good at banging with your left hand.
Hey! Done it. Right, so now they're free, we can wind the engine round, get it on the timing marks, mark the belt, and then we can take this bottom pulley cover off, which is behind this bottom pulley, and then we can get the rest of the engine mount out, and then we can start taking the actual belt itself off. So we'll come back to you in a minute. Right, I don't know if you can see this on camera, where I'm shining the light there. Hang on a second, I'm trying to do this one-handed. There is a timing mark on the cover and a timing mark on the pulley. So I'm trying to balance this in the engine bay so you can see it. So you can see the white mark on the pulley itself. Can you come and point to this for us, Alex? Sorry, I'm trying to film this and I can't do it all at the same time. Just going to point to those 2 timing marks on that top pulley so I can just show them where they are. So they've got one on the actual casing itself.
On that.
This is there, yeah. And then where's the one on the pulley? See it?
Just there.
That's it.
In line.
In line with it, yeah. And we've got a little marker that he's just gone and got, so we can mark the actual belt. And on the bottom side here, it's very difficult to see. Right on the very top of this pulley. Hang on a second.
In front of the pen.
There's a mark there. Is that on the casing you're pointing to?
Yeah.
Trying to get the light in there as well as the.
You can see the mark.
Yeah. Oh, I can see. So there, yeah, there's the mark on there, and then there's a mark on the pulley, which is on the back side of the pulley, so it's really difficult to see on camera, but it is in line. So we are all lined up. We're going to mark the belt now, and then we can get that bottom pulley off and detension the cam belt, and then take it off. And then the marks that we put on it will allow us to mark the new belt, so we know that it's bang on right. We'll come back to you in a minute. Right, Alex has just thrown that in the bin. That's the engine mount. That's the engine mount. We have just literally, you can probably tell by I'm out of breath, how we just struggled to get that out between the chassis leg and the engine. It's taken us probably about 45 minutes to get that thing out. Absolute pain. Whoever designed that wants shooting.
It's back in the bin now.
Right, it's back in the bin. Right, we're now going to get the tensioner off and get the belt off finally. Let's carry on. Right, we've got the tensioner off, and as you can see, we've just got it in the vise. We're going to push the, this is the hydraulic.
That won't move.
It won't move. You have to do it really slow. This is a hydraulic tensioner which tensions the cam belt. Now we haven't got a new one, but this one does look like it's been replaced, so we just have to sort of do it and leave it for a minute, and then do it again and leave it for a minute. So we're just sort of compressing this back in again. You can see in there's a hole in the pin, which you have to line up with the hole in the casting, and then you put either a rivet or a drill bit or something through there. That will hold it in position when we fit the new belt and the new tensioner pulley. We've got a new tensioner wheel to go on here as well. In fact, actually, it might be worth fitting that while it's in the vise. We can undo that easier, can't we?
Yeah.
I'll go and grab that. So yeah, we've just got to wind this in little bit by little bit, and you have to sort of let the hydraulic stuff inside settle, and then you do it a bit more, and then do it a bit more, and do it a bit more, and then once you get it obviously in the right spot, then we are good to lock it down and reuse it. So we do that, and then we'll come back to you when we're taking the water pump off. Right, there we go. That is the hydraulic tensioner. We've got a bee in the garage. I don't know if you can hear that over there. There's a bee buzzing up the window, and it's really annoying. Anyway,
I think it's a queen.
Queen bee, yeah. Right, this is the hydraulic tensioner. Now we've put an Allen key right through it to lock it down, as you can see there, and we've got the new idler pulley wheel on there as well. So that is ready to go. Next thing we're going to do is get the water pump off, which is this one here. It's just 3 10mm bolts. We'll get that off and we'll show you new to roll when we get it off. Come back to you in a sec.
The bee is angry.
The bee's angry. I think you're right, yeah. Right, there we go. That is the old water pump out. This is the gold one here. Now it actually looks really new, but having rotated it, Alex, you see it does feel a little bit rougher than the new one we've got. Also, you can see the difference there. Put them side by side, mate. This is a genuine VW one, and it's got an enclosed section on the back there, whereas this one is just left open for some reason. So I would say it's probably a good thing that we're changing it, because obviously the genuine VW one is going to be how it should be, and this is obviously an aftermarket one. Although it does look fairly new, we are obviously doing the right thing changing it. They have both got metal impellers on them as well, which is good. So we're going to get that swapped over. It literally is just 3 bolts that bolt into the side of the block. We're going to have to lubricate this O-ring to obviously make sure it pops in the hole right and doesn't chafe it up. Because you can see there, look, someone's put that one in, they've chafed it up. See? So that is what you've got to try and avoid, because otherwise it won't seal properly, it could fail. So we'll get some WD-40 or something on that and get that put in. Let's carry on. Right, Alex is just putting the hydraulic tensioner on. As you can see in there now, we've got the water pump already on there. That's just 3 bolts. Popped in there nice and easy with a bit of WD-40 on the seal, so that's good. That's just got 2 bolts on that tensioner down there. So we're going to get them on, and then we've got a new pulley to go on here. This is what the hydraulic tensioner pushes up against. Again, this is a genuine Audi part, as you can see. So we've got all the decent stuff for it, so that's good. So we'll get that tensioner put on, then we'll get this put on, then we can get the belt put on and marked up, and we'll show you what we're going to do with as far as the marking, so we can count the teeth in between and make sure that it's bang on. I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, we are progressing well. As you can see there now, the new belt is on. Woo! Now we've still got it cable tied up at the top at the moment. Alex is just putting the lower timing cover on so we can wind the engine over by hand and make sure he's there, look. And make sure that all the timing marks still line up. Now I'll just show you the old belt. This is the old belt, and you can see there we put 2 marks on the top cam and onto the belt, and 1 on the bottom pulley onto the belt as well. What we did when we got the belts off, we marked the 2 top ones because they're only a short distance apart, and then we counted the teeth both the way around the belt, so we could definitely not be wrong, and then marked the same amount of teeth on the new belt with that bottom mark, and obviously then lined all them back up on the camshaft and on the bottom pulley there. You can see they're lining up on that top camshaft there. Can you still see the bottom ones with that cover on? You can, can't you? Yeah. There you go. You can see the bottom one lines up there as well on that bottom pulley. So we're going to get that cover on. Drop the phone. I've turned it round now. Get that cover on. Put the lower pulley back on, and then we'll wind it over by hand. Make sure everything still lines up on the actual timing marks on the engine. I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, we have just wound this engine around twice. That mark is slightly to the right there on that. I'm just going back slightly, but we have wound it round, and just to show you, the marks do line up. You can see the mark is on the cam there, and to this one here is slightly to the left, same as the bottom one is. So I'm gonna just see if I can get that. Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Wants to go, and that's back, doesn't it? Just to get it bang on the mark. Can you see that where you are?
Hang on.
Yeah, you're on the camera. Tell me when.
It needs to literally go So fractional. Just give it a tap, maybe. There.
Is that it?
I think so. Moved anyway.
Right. Trying to focus it on there. So just come off that marker. That's it. So you can see now that is absolutely bang on that mark on that bottom pulley there, and on the top we are hopefully bang on as well. Looks good to me. So we've got the mark on the cam case and the mark on the cam. Yep, spot on. So that is the belt installed. So now we've got to do a reverse of everything we've just done, and the hardest bit is going to be getting that damn engine mount back in.
Get it out of the bin then.
Yeah, I think I already got it out of the bin. It's down there on the floor.
Oh.
So that's going to be the next job. We'll come back to you when we've struggled for another hour trying to get that in.
With an oxygen settling torch.
Yeah. Right, yeah, this is the stage we're at the moment. We've got the top timing cover back on. We've got the engine side of the engine mount back on. That was very difficult to get back in, but we've managed it. We've also got the lower pulley back in down there, and also the timing cover that goes behind it. So that is all back on there now. So hopefully we can get the other half of this mount put back on and get it so that the engine's not hanging anymore. That's going to be the next thing. Let's crack on. Right, we are getting close now. We have got the EVAP canister back in, power steering reservoir back in, all the pipes are connected up. We've got the pipe on the back there for the charge pipe. The charge pipe itself's got to go back on. We've got to do that. We've got these two fuel pipes left off at the moment because we're going to attach a pipe to the feed here, and we're going to actually use the car's fuel pump to pump some fuel through and see what sort of condition it's in the tank. The only other thing we've got left to put back on is the tank for the coolant, and that is it. And then we can hopefully, fingers crossed, can't cross my fingers, go for a first start. So we're going to beat some of this fuel through, and we'll see it come back to you and show you what comes out of it in a minute. Right, we're going to try and prime this pump. We've got it connected up to the right pipe this time, because the last time we went all over the place. Go on then. And we've got fuel coming through. It's a bit yellow, but it's not too bad. Go on, do it again. It's not priming.
No,
it's probably...
it won't prime anymore.
Is that because it's already primed once?
Yeah, that's to turn the engine over. There you go.
There you go. It don't look bad. I mean, yeah, there's a few little... See, there was water in this bottle already, wasn't there, where you washed it out, so... Pepsi, oh right, okay.
I didn't even wash it out.
You didn't wash it out?
No.
It's Pepsi and petrol, and it doesn't actually look too bad. It's very yellow. Very yellow.
What do you reckon?
What do you reckon? Reckon I run on that? I reckon I run on that.
This is something I just did in the toilet.
I don't know really. It's a bit yellow, I will admit that. What's it smell like? Is it bad? Does it smell varnishy?
Overly?
A little bit varnishy.
We like a bit of nail varnish, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe what the best thing to do is we're going to probably dilute it, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, we're going to go and get some fresh fuel, dilute what's in the tank a little bit, and go from there. Come back to you in a minute. Right. This is the moment of truth. Coolant's in. We left the cap off for now to let it burp out and whatever else. We're going to try it on this old fuel, see what it does. Might want to give it a few primes first, Alex. Might want to give the pump a few primes first, to get the fuel up there.
Oh, that's not connected.
Oh yeah, hang on.
Just shove it on, that'll be
marvellous. There you go.
There you go.
Battery on.
Oh yeah, this is on the old battery and all. That one I can start. We
All
didn't
right.
get another battery yet.
Okay, well we'll see. Go on. You've got to do a prime a few times first, don't you? I didn't prime. Doesn't seem to prime every time, does it? Is it weird? Just crank it. Did it prime? That's going to sound fruity. That's got a mega exhaust leak. We're supposed to sound like that.
No, that's coming out this end, isn't it?
That's coming out of this end, yeah, there's something leaking big time there, but we got it started, woohoo!
God, it ran.
And it sounded alright to be fair. That sounded a bit weird, that exhaust though, I wonder why that is.
I know, it sounded like it was exiting this side.
Sounded like it was coming out the front underneath the engine. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of investigation work and we'll come back to you in a minute because we don't know why it sounded like that. Right, yeah, Alex just said it proves our Cambelt was a success because it started straight up and it sounds nice, engine wise. Exhaust wise, we're going to check underneath because the guy who owned this car before did put a new turbo on it, so we think he may have left something off under there. It sounds like there's been a pipe left basically clean off the car, so we're going to get it back up in the air, get it up a bit higher this time, get some axle stands under it and have a good look underneath, find out what's going on. I'll come back to you in a minute. Rightio, we're under the car as you can see and we think we've found the problem. You can see this flexi pipe here, which is the exhaust, has actually become disconnected. You can see that whole thing moving so that there isn't actually a proper join in between the downpipe from the manifold and the main exhaust. So Alex is actually going to start it up and I'm going to see if I can hear where it's coming from. Go on now, Alex. Oh, battery's not connected now. Hang on. So hold the line, caller. Technical difficulties. I can't even say it. Technical difficulties. There we go. Actually in quite a good position, that light, before I moved it. There we go. Right.
You ready, sausage?
Yeah, go on then. Make sure it's in neutral. Remember, this is old fuel, everyone, so that's probably why it's not starting. Yeah, definitely that joint. Yeah. Leave it running. Sounds alright that, the engine. Engine sounds lovely. How about that? We don't know how many years this hasn't run for, but it's quite a long while. But that is running lovely. Leave it going, Alex. Leave it going. Definitely that joint. It's alright. Let's have a listen to the back, see what the exhaust sounds like. If there is any, that is. No exhaust out the back, no, it's because, well, very, very slightly, but most of it's coming out the front where that downpipe, that flexi pipe's got a break in it, it's just all coming out the front. But the engine sounds lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And considering that's on old fuel as well, I think that's a win. Woo! Sounds a bit like a van at the moment, but it does sound.
I like that.
Yeah, the actual engine sounds alright. Nothing wrong with that. That works. Right, don't swear, Alex. This is a bit precarious. He's sitting on my toolbox in there because I've got no seats in the car at the moment, and we want to see if it moves for the first time in we don't know how many years. So let's have a look, let's have a little see what happens. Can you put the window down?
I can't.
Oh, you can't?
I'm not connected.
Okay. It's going to be loud obviously because of the exhaust, but hopefully it'll move. First time this has moved under its own steam in we don't know how many years. I would like to add this is a private drive, so he's allowed to go up and down it, for anyone who's wondering. Superb. There is a little bit of exhaust coming out the back by the looks of it from the steam, and the brakes does seem to be working, which is always good. He's just going to turn around up there and come back down again, so I'll stop here and we'll film him coming back in again. It's good that all the clutch works though, and gearbox and obviously brakes, so that's great. It's a good test of everything. Means you can get a bit of rust off the brakes as well now. That looks superb. Looks epic. I'm assuming he's probably going to go around again because this is the first time he's driven it. Absolutely awesome. There we go. Right then, that is going to be it for this episode of MEC-TEC. The Audi is living and breathing again. It's been up and down the drive, clutch works, gearbox works. The Cambelt, both astonished both of us, and it actually worked first time as well. So, considering neither of us had never done a Cambelt on a TT before, that was quite good going. We did get a little bit of smoke towards the end of coming back down the drive, coming from the engine bay area. That was just what we think is either oil dripped down the back onto the exhaust or oil in the charge pipe, one of the two, we don't know. But considering it's not been run for we don't know how many years, it's done alright, and he was driving it sitting on my toolbox, so it's a bit sketchy. but there you go. So we're not sure what's going to happen next with the Audi as far as videos. It is probably going to undergo a full restoration. Obviously there's no time scale on that at the moment, so it may be back on the channel in a little while, maybe next year, so we'll see. Remember, I've got Instagram MEC_TEC1985 and have got Facebook MEC-TEC for little sneak peeks during the week of what I'm up to. And if you want to hit that subscribe button if you're new here, that would help me out, and obviously the little notification bell as well. And all that's left for me to say is, if you want to join me soon for more automotive adventures, I'll see you again next time. Cheers guys.